Tracker 13 forecast first. Sponsored by George Sink Injury Lawyers.
Good afternoon and happy Wednesday. Heat and humidity continuing to top headlines, of course, for today. At least currently it is paired with some sun, but there will be showers and thunderstorms on the way in just the next couple of hours. Inland is warmer compared to yesterday. It's a 3 to 4 degree difference, and temperatures are already at 95 degrees. Again, that's the temperature. That is not the heat index. And Myrtle Beach is at 93, so it is hotter compared to yesterday. We are going to have, again, sun mixed in with clouds, few thunderstorms to watch, but we do have an extreme heat warning in effect across Horry County, and we'll run down what that means in just a bit.
Coverage you can count on at noon starts now.
Thank you for joining us for local coverage you can count on. I'm Jevin McCoskey. We begin this afternoon in Horry County, where 4 people are hospitalized after a car caught fire in a crash overnight in Loris. Horry County Fire Rescue were called to the area of Green Sea Road and Highway 67 at 9:30 last night. They say it was a 2-car crash and one of the vehicles was on fire. They were able to put that fire out and 4 people were taken to the hospital, but no word right now on the extent of their injuries. Highway Patrol is investigating. The Horry County Police Department has announced they've added a new addition to their headquarters to help the youngest members of the community. Take a look at this. This is the department's brand new Kids Comfort Room inside their headquarters at the M.L. Brown Public Safety Building. It's intended for kids who visit that have been impacted by crime in some way and need to spend some time at the building. Now, it features a comfortable seating option, a television, games, new coloring books, crayons, puzzles, stuffed animals, a safety gate, and other activities. Funding for the addition was made possible by donations from several community faith partners, area churches, and Fostering Hope in Conway. South Carolina Attorney General Alan Wilson is working to unseal documents from the first Alec Murdaugh double murder trial. Wilson filed a motion to unseal transcripts and other materials that led to a juror being dismissed during the 2023 trial. Now, the motion also requests information from later hearings into allegations of jury tampering against former Colleton County Clerk of Court Becky Hill. Murdaugh was convicted of the murders of his wife and son in Colleton County, but the state Supreme Court reversed the verdicts in May, saying Hill may have influenced the jury. A new judge set an April 2027 start date for a new trial. A man was taken to the hospital after being shot multiple times in the parking lot of a GM plant in Arlington, Texas yesterday. According to the Arlington Police Department, officers were called to the parking lot of the GM plant just after 6:30 yesterday morning for reports of a shooting. When officers arrived, they found a victim whose name has not been released, suffering from apparent gunshot wounds. That person was taken to the hospital. Their condition is currently unknown. The suspected shooter was later identified as Larry Hines after he left the scene, but then called 911 saying he was involved. Officials in New York say a skyscraper near Grand Central Terminal that was in danger of collapse is now stable. Reports of falling bricks and buckling beams inside the 37-story high-rise triggered mass evacuations of surrounding buildings Tuesday. Overnight, emergency crews worked quickly to install new steel to shore up weak points and prevent a potential disaster. The Department of Buildings Commissioner says the city is keeping a close eye on the high-rise while contractors work on long-term solutions.
We have monitoring positions set up outside and inside the building that's allowing us to track the situation, and if there is any movement or if we sense any movement, we have protocols in place to make sure we're quickly removing people.
The building's developer, Metro Loft, says additional floors being added to the skyscraper caused the beams to bend.
News 13 on-time traffic, sponsored by Joy Law Firm. Just call Joy.
The time is 12:04 on your Wednesday afternoon, and just seeing a little bit of some stop and go traffic on either side of 501 between CCU and Myrtle Ridge. Also a touch of slow travel on 17 heading northbound around Garden City. But for some live looks, very sunny in both of these. Traffic honestly doesn't look too bad. This is 501 just past 17, and of course the Little River Swing Bridge is currently closed, so travel going over the Intercoastal will be fine. No delays. Just a touch slower on CCU, and also a 5-minute delay from Mr. Joe White to 82nd Parkway. Interstate travel, though, we can see is in the green on north or southbound sides. If you're going west on I-20, also no headaches being reported there. This is in Florence County, which it's definitely more alive than what it was this morning. This is near 76, but again, as long as everybody flows nicely, nobody's slamming on the brakes, shouldn't see any congestion for this afternoon. The drive time for downtown Florence is 7 minutes from Palmetto to I-95. Back to you.
Hannah, thank you. President Trump says the temporary peace deal with Iran is over after the U.S. launched more military strikes on Iranian targets. The announcement comes as the president is meeting with allies at the NATO summit in Turkey. He also met with Ukraine's President Zelensky and pledged more support for his country in its war with Russia. Nana Bonsu has more details from the White House.
President Trump says he considers the ceasefire with Iran over.
We hit them very hard last night, very hard. Probably hit them hard again tonight. I'll give them a little warning, we're going to hit them hard tonight.
U.S. Central Command says American forces hit more than 80 Iranian targets, including air defense systems, radars, and at least 60 small boats. The president authorized the strikes after the U.S. says Iran targeted at least 3 tankers in the Strait of Hormuz.
They launched a couple of drones and 1 rocket, 1 missile, and at ships, because they were in the strait, which they have every right to be.
Iran retaliated, saying it launched attacks on U.S. military facilities in Bahrain and Kuwait. And Iran's parliament speaker warned the era of bullying and extortion is over. It leads nowhere. We don't fold. President Trump also met with Ukraine's president on the sidelines of the NATO summit, and he pledged support to beef up Ukraine's air defenses against Russian attacks.
We'll give them the right to make patriots. We'll show them how to do it. It's very complex, actually, but it's you'll figure out the complexity quickly.
Volodymyr Zelensky also met with a bipartisan group of U.S. lawmakers.
For us, it's very important to continue your support.
Trump says he believes a deal to end Russia's war with Ukraine is close. Nana Bonsu, CBS News, the White House.
President Trump also revoked a waiver that had been agreed to as part of the Memorandum of Understanding to allow Iran to sell its oil on the market. Crude oil prices are on the rise again today in response to the renewed attacks. Maine's Democratic Senate nominee is facing new pressure and a ticking clock to drop out of the race. Graham Plattner has lost the support of Maine voters, local and national political voices after a new rape allegation, which he denies. Late Tuesday, the Washington Post reported another woman who says she dated Plattner over a decade ago sexually assaulted her. This comes after Jenny Rashicott told Politico the now Senate candidate was, quote, almost blackout drunk when he came over to her house uninvited in 2021 and forced her to have sex with him. While Plattner weathered the Democratic primary, despite numerous controversies, he's lost nearly all of his big-name supporters, including Senators Bernie Sanders, Elizabeth Warren, and the trust of would-be voters.
It feels like you have somebody that's finally going to speak for the people and that is getting people behind him and wants to make a change, and then it's maybe more of the same.
Plattner has until Monday to leave the race in order for the Maine Democratic Party to pick a replacement by their deadline of July 27th. At least one Democrat has already filed paperwork to potentially replace Plattner. The party is accusing Plattner's campaign of trying to put their thumb on the scale in the process, something his campaign denies. Still ahead, the World Cup has been grabbing the attention of millions worldwide. We'll show you how one organization is bringing the sport to more communities in our country coming up next.
It is very nice and sunny, but as you can probably guess, it is incredibly hot outside. So the real question is, when is the heat going to subside? And we'll talk about that after this.